In this episode of Forgotten Buildings, we are exploring a massive lost medical center, hidden somewhere in the middle of the forest of Germany. With its long corridors and impressive architecture, this truly was a beautiful place to walk around. Join us and discover with us the forgotten past of this lost sanatorium. We began our explore outside in the neighboring park. Finding an entrance was actually very simple and straightforward. So we got relatively easy on the huge historical medical compound. The first building we wanted to enter was the main large building. This also was known as the large sanatorium building, which was constructed at the beginning of the 1900s. We will head into the history further in the video. First, let's go inside the building. When in, we immediately noticed that this was the former main entrance. Unfortunately, it wasn't spared of vandalism. So let's not waste much time here and search for the first highlights of this historical medical building. Behind the main lobby, we came across a big long hallway, which went left and right. I first wanted to explore the central part though. Most of the times these big complexes got quite nice features in the middle, like a big hall or a theater. So let's hope that we will find something like that. Upstairs we found it pretty much a replica of where we just came from, so nothing too exciting. But we have more floors to go. And we are lucky. There was indeed a big central hall, and it included some really pretty natural lighting, which already gave it an extra point. Unfortunately there was a bit of gravity, but it didn't really ruin the atmosphere. But to get a better impression of this hall, let's head up one more floor. Here you can really witness the beauty of this former central hall. In fact, this hall was called the Light Hall in its years of operation and was the social center of this complex. This was due that this medical complex was split between two religions. The right wing was for Catholics and the left was for evangelical Christians. But let's continue our exploration further into the complex. We first wanted to explore the left wing of the complex. But while we do this, let me tell you the brief history of this place. As you may have noticed from the architecture, this medical complex started its life as a sanatorium for tuberculosis patients. The plans for this new big complex was announced by a German royal all the way back in 1897. 4 years later it could finally be opened. The first 40 years of operation went relatively smooth. The situation changed a bit though when the Second World War broke out. This was due that parts of the hospital became a hospital of the German SS. This wasn't for long though. After the Germans lost the war, it was used by the British for a couple of years. After this, the use for a tuberculosis hospital was quickly vanishing. So it was converted to a clinic to treat small health problems. This all ended though in 2010. This was the time the hospital closed for good. Now, 10 years later, the decay has finally started to set in. As you can see right here. Nature is silently creeping in some rooms. But okay, let's continue our explore in this former hospital. The next part we came across was this former gymnasium. It looked a bit strange though, due to the stained glass everywhere. Why this is the case could easily be declared looking at this photo. It was the former evangelical chapel, which was converted into a gymnasium somewhere in its lifespan. Behind the gymnasium we came across our next cool little highlight. This small highlight was the rather imposing drinking tap. In its heyday, it would pump fresh, natural water out of the ground. It was believed this was healthy for the mind and body. With a majority of the left wing explored, let's head into the still unexplored Catholic wing. We quickly noticed though that this part was a lot more empty. Just when we wanted to head back, we were surprised a bit. This here is the former Catholic chapel, which seemed to still be in a remarkably good condition. This, mixed with some beautiful details, made this room truly a nice little surprise. With this small find, we will also finish off our exploration in this former sanatorium. The future of this complex is actually looking pretty bright. So hopefully the restoration will start soon, before it's too late.